Hello everyone, my name is Kayla Dawson. Today I will discuss security failures, remote workspace policies, and how to apply security principles as well as security mitigation methods to maintain a secure office and remote workspace environment. First, we're going to dive into security failures. Security failures consist of poor security configurations, poor security practices, and weak security controls, which result in a threat actor exploiting them to gain access to sensitive data or confidential information. It is also the main factor behind a data breach. For example, from May to July 2017, the People's Liberation Army hacked Equifax. The group of hackers executed their attack by exploiting a vulnerability in the dispute resolution website within the Equifax system. From November 2013 to April 2015, Chinese state-sponsored threat actors carried out one of the largest data breaches in hacking the Office of Personnel Management. First, the group installed malware on the Office of Personnel Management's network. Then, after gaining access to the network, moved their way into a Department of Interior server and began to exfiltrate personnel records stored there. According to the Congressional Data Breach Report, over 4.2 million records were accessed by state-sponsored actors working for China. The existence of a security failure or multiple security failures can provide threat actors the opportunity to exploit and attack a system, resulting in financial loss, a negative reputation for protecting the data of customers, or bringing down a network. Security failures can look like lack of multi-factor authentication, outdated software, weak password policies, cloud services left unprotected, human error, open ports, and misconfigured services exposed to the internet, weak endpoint security controls, and providing inaccurate privileges or permissions to users in the access control list. When an organization suffers a data breach, it is due to one or multiple security failures. Security failures violate one of the main frameworks that security relies on, the CIA triad. The CIA triad, which stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability, is a security method used to guide and design security policies within an organization. Confidentiality is the steps taken to ensure that unauthorized parties do not access sensitive information. Security failures violate confidentiality when a data breach occurs due to weak password policies and a lack of multi-factor authentication in place. Integrity is violated when a security breach takes place due to an insider threat. For example, an intern creates a weak password and intentionally leaks the password on a public platform. Availability is violated when a company's network is brought down due to a distributed denial of service attack. For example, a threat actor can take advantage of a company not having security at the application or internet layer by executing a ping attack or an HTTP flood attack, thus causing a company's website to respond to traffic requests slowly or completely unavailable as a result of the network being overwhelmed by the large amount of traffic requests. The following security principles are needed to establish a secure system. The first one is to determine how the design of a system is to be interpreted and its purpose before creation. Figure out what factors and mechanisms need to be implemented for it to operate without any blind or weak spots that a threat actor could exploit. Secondly, increase the difficulty a threat actor has if they try to breach the company's network through brute force login or spear phishing attack. Thirdly, establish controls that will ensure that the system can hold up against any external or internal threats to the system. Measures such as having data backups, load balancers, and safety controls for cyber physical systems would ensure the availability of a system in the event of an attack. Using detection tools such as a security information and event manager to collect log data, monitor events in real time, and alert IT teams of a detected threat, as well as an intrusion prevention system to identify and block malicious activity or traffic on the network. Lastly, to reduce the impact of compromise, it would be a best practice to set the network up in a zone network approach in order to increase the level of security for systems that hold valuable data and sensitive information. Here are some methods to implement to prevent and mitigate threat actors from causing harm to an organization's technological infrastructure. Provide clear and direct language in the security governance of systems. That means setting the defined roles for users who are responsible for making security decisions and can be held accountable for those decisions. Users with administrative privileges should adhere to an internet usage policy that doesn't allow users to view their email or browse the web from the same account or device they use to carry out any privileged actions. This measure can prevent malware from being installed onto the device of an administrator. Simulate a distributed denial of service attack to see how the system holds up against large amounts of traffic and a high amount of work volume. Utilize security information and event manager tools such as Splunk or SolarWinds in conjunction with a firewall to provide real-time threat monitoring and to alert IT teams of any detected threats against the system. Remove software applications and default configurations that are no longer in use. This is to lessen the risk of a threat actor exploiting a function for authorized users. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, companies around the world have adopted a remote style of work. For example, Airbnb allows their employees to work from home or in an environment outside the office due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They also have the flexibility to move anywhere in the country without a change in compensation and have up to 90 days to live and work in over 170 countries. One of the most widely used cryptocurrency platforms, Coinbase, positions itself as a remote-first company where most open roles within the company are remote and current employees aren't required to work in the office. They now have the option to work from home or in the office if they would like to. Blackbaud, the cloud software company, transitioned into a work approach at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic and will continue to remain so according to President and CEO Mario Giannoni. The recommendations I have for implementing secure design principles for remote workers are to include the risks remote working bring in the existing information security policy. Provide user awareness training for staff on what phishing emails are and how to handle receiving them. Explain the importance of being cautious in opening external emails outside of the company's email domain. Require the use of virtual private networks when accessing the company network from a remote location. And make sure the credentials for communication channels are secure. Remote workers should implement and adhere to the following best practices in order to secure their remote workspace environment. Use antivirus and internet security software such as Norton Antivirus Plus and Norton Secure VPN. Make sure work equipment is kept in a secure environment. Use a sliding webcam cover on a work-issued monitor and desktop PC. Make sure there's home network security in place, meaning your home Wi-Fi should be private. Use a password manager to create and store passwords, and make sure the operating system is up to date. Now that we've reached the end of this presentation, what are your thoughts on security failures and their impact on an organization? How can your company or any company create a secure remote workplace environment for their employees? Feel free to share your thoughts and feedback in the comment section below this video.